Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, good day to our friends in Australia. Welcome to S.H.O.P, the social hub of positivity, here in the wonderful S.H.O.P unit in Emery Gate, which we share with lots of wonderful artists and individuals, organisations, Riverbank, etc. Say, thank you, a big thank you to Emery Gate, all the staff and all the crew, Jack Frost and all the guys. This week I have someone who you'll be very familiar with, if you're very familiar with lots of stuff that Kandu does, because this man has become quite essential to a lot of the things that we have been up to in the last couple of years, and we certainly collaborated on lots of different projects. No more so than the Unlock Reset Festival, which was over the August Bank Holiday, which we're repeating every year. Thank you to all the venues involved and the sponsors, and also our film festival, which happened quite recently. Film festival, Unlock Reset. Next week we'll have some new wallpaper, which will have a picture of myself and Brian making Cornish pasties out of old eggs. Anyway. You know who he is, you've seen him many times. He's the stalwart and the main linchpin of a lot of our stuff, but here he is, Mr. Brian Reid. Brian, how are you doing?
I'm good, Ed. How are you?
That's brilliant. I'll see you next week. Bye. Woo!
Can I go now?
Yeah, that was that. That's that one. Next. How much media can we generate before we get stopped? That's a special dedication to your man at the town council. Mister, who's your man at the town council who has to keep running away now? Can you stop your man talking about running around with wigs? Anyway, sorry Brian, how you doing, mate?
That's okay, I'm good, mate.
Yeah.
I'm good.
The old road open mic's back on as well. So you're open micing it, still doing our digital one. How many shows have you done for us now? Have we done together?
79 this week.
I could deep in breath as if that's a lot. It's a great lot of commitment to you, man. Fantastic.
It's been loads of fun. And the sort of, even though, yes, there's a certain pressure that comes with a deadline. But I tend to sort of err on the side of just, not so late that it's not possible.
That's good.
Just late enough to keep you interested. I mean, sometimes I get in a bit of a quandary, and I'm sat there and I'm thinking, what am I going to talk about? I've got no idea what I'm going to talk about. This is like 5 minutes before I'm supposed to do it.
Yeah.
And then I just, crackle and sort of, something seems to happen. All right. I think there's always something like bubbling around under the surface that you want to talk about.
Yeah.
I think the key is just like sort of go with the flow.
Well, it's been an interesting, even if we'd have come up with that idea to do a digital open mic, which, as you know, of course, has had everything, including photography, poetry, paintings, as well as songs. Even if we had come up with it as an idea without the pandemic, the fact that we did it the very day after the first lockdown was announced, it has become something of a diary. So for the people out there that watch this and don't maybe watch the open mic on the Wednesday evening, for the last 78 weeks, up until whenever you watch this, so we've done 78 so far, Brian has done an introduction to each of those, and each of those introductions in themselves have become something of a diary of not just this individual's perspective of life and what's been going on in our locality, but on a national and an international level. So it's quite an interesting. I'm tempted after show 100 to put them all together, and I'm being serious, and everybody knows me goes, yes you are. I think it would make a documentary. It would make an interesting documentary if you just put everything that Brian said for 78 weeks, not everything he said when he wasn't on camera, by the way, that we put in the show.
No.
Well, it's quite an interesting little diary of a particular type of time in human history.
I think that just having the opportunity to vent, for want of a better word. Okay, so almost like it's not so important what you say. What's more important is getting it out and actually trying to be honest.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that I could be doing this. Hey everybody, it's open mic time again, and everything's happy, and it's like so. I've had lots of occasions when I've done it, and like people have watched it, and I've had people messaging me afterwards saying, "Brian, are you okay, mate?"
Yeah.
No, seriously,
That's
are you
usually
all right? Right? And the truth is that I've not been sometimes. Sometimes I've been miserable. Sometimes I've been sad. Sometimes I've been like unreasonably angry and like sort of struggling to process everything that's going on around me. And also that all feeds into the pressure that you have in terms of coming up with something every week. And so I just decided to like sort of take some pressure off myself and just sort of say that if I don't feel like I want to say anything, I don't.
Yeah.
All right, but that doesn't mean
yeah.
that I can't introduce the thing and I can't have a smile or a chuckle or say something nice about Kandu or other people, right, or about stuff that happened last week. And I love the fact that we've sort of developed a constituency who are enjoying it, who are partaking in it.
Yeah.
And the fact that sort of things have it's still rumbling along in a sort of stasis while we transition back to some kind of normality.
Yeah, it's interesting. Whatever that means. Yeah, definitely, because we've talked about it. I like it as an individual entity, as opposed to now that we can. And I've spoken to Revo a few times about when we get the live one back on there, and I'm going to be talking to a few more venues as well, so that we could have one a week.
Well, I think it's never been. The thing is, it started off as being a way to keep the connection going.
Yeah.
Because the open mic that we started in the Revo in the beginning of 2020, January and February, was absolutely fantastic. Packed with people, loads of interaction, lots of youngsters.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really nice situation.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of positivity. And so we were like, how can we not do this? We have to do something that even approximates to that. But now it's actually become a thing of its own.
It is, isn't it? And I think that we get regular input from people up and down the country. You've introduced us to some amazing poets. Thanks to you, we've been had a luxury, and of course I agree that it was a time when none of us physically saw each other, but we'd see each other every week on that thing, and that became a really meaningful kind of window into everyone, because a lot of people were filming. You were thankfully always doing it from your car, except for that 1 week. But everyone else has been doing it from different places, but usually in and around their homes, because I was doing them from our office because we were, as I say, key workers, and we were still working throughout. But some people were doing it. It was a window into their lives, particularly in the pandemic, and I felt quite honoured to have shared that, and very emotional.
It's been really beautiful, just first of all, watching people who are tentatively starting to play an instrument and suddenly sort of graduate into writing their own music, writing their own songs.
In the same space of 78 shows, which you don't get in a live thing. That's the difference, isn't it? In a live one, and me and you have been doing open mics in various locations for years. And the honour you get as the MC is you see all sorts, whatever people. Some people, music. I used to have a particular favourite of mine was Jay Garraway. It was a particular good time for me if Jay Garraway sang. Now he might know he's got a son who's as talented as they come, and I love. Don't get me wrong, Si Garraway and all the music they've ever produced, and Joan and all that lot. But there's something about the connection you get when Jay would sing a song, because he's a genuine lover of music and loves it regardless. And I think that comes across. So for me, that would be it. Or certain occasions you'd have a new, and Annie was talking about last week at the Old Road, someone who's never done it before. Now they don't have to be brilliant when they do it for the first time, but that they've done it for the first time. So that's unique to the live show. But filming it, you get to see their progress, and you could go back. I think
one of the things that we've tried to encourage at the Old Road, one of the things that we tried to encourage at the Old Road is that the open mic is not a gig that you're going to.
Yeah.
Okay. The open mic is a community experience, and so the first thing we have to do is create a space where people are confident enough to actually do something that means a lot to them that they may have never done in public before, and that's terrifying on every level. And so we have a simple rule: if anybody's new, then we treat them like they're Frank Sinatra on a comeback.
Yeah.
Okay, and you can't fail.
Once if Frank Sinatra turned up, you'd have a bit of a problem.
Well, him as well. but the point is, once you put your foot in the door,
Yeah.
all right, and that crack appears, all right, then the light pours through,
Yeah.
and then you see people come along and do stuff, and you go, wow, that's amazing, fantastic, oh, you've never done it before, and then they come back a month later, and they're a whole different beast because they've just gained that little
Built on
X
that,
thing that
Built
says I
skin,
can do
haven't they?
this, and like and these people care.
Yeah.
You know,
No, it's gorgeous.
It's a big deal.
It is.
So yeah, it was, and also we've tried to like sort of get away from this highly regimented. We're going to start at this time, and we're going to do this, and we're going to what have you, and I'm much more interested in actually having people arrive, come in, all right. We start off. Anybody want to have to?
Yeah.
Come on up, all right.
Yeah.
I don't want to get the hat and go, ooh, who's next? And everybody's there going, well, not me.
Have you tried? Have you seen those cattle prong things you get? just like that. You'd be shocked how fast people move. No nonsense. You don't have to sort of, what have you come here for? You've got a guitar, what have you come here for? If you haven't come up, get on the stage now.
To be honest, like,
before you've had a drink.
To be honest, like the whole crack with the open mic thing is that I want people to enjoy themselves, and I also want them to feel like sort of I've got half a clue about what I'm doing. So the key for me is that whatever stress I may be feeling about anything, it's my job not to communicate it to them, but to and as someone who describes themselves as a poet, which is not something I've ever always done, but I am able to articulate how I feel.
Yeah.
And that sort of gives me a lot of leeway.
Yeah, what's interesting actually as well, particularly with our relationship, that we have collaborated. So you say about you being a poet, which I've got great respect for your poems, and we collaborated on Arrivals, if you remember. It was in Revo, not when we were doing the open mic, that you first read it to me, and I will be the first to admit that I cried, partly because of the words and partly because I got the bill for the round at Revo. We collaborated where we've used music and poetry, and then we've done that as a recording, and we've done it you did it as a video.
The funny thing is that whole process with Arrivals is that we've almost like created a template for our collaboration, which was, I show you something, you go, that's great, we could do this, and we could do this, right? If you want to do this, and I would say, okay, I'll do that. And then once you take your foot inside there, next thing you've done 3 or 4 practices in a row, and then you're getting ready for a gig in front of 300 people in Swindon with a band on stage. You've never been on stage with a band before,
and they've never been on stage with each other.
Yeah, and it's
and who were you doing it for though?
Yeah,
refugees.
And afterwards,
amazing, man.
It was fantastic. It was a really massive buzz, and as a matter of fact, it was almost like sort of afterwards. I felt a bit after the Lord Mayor's show. I felt a bit burnt because it was like so intense. And that's just the fact that I built myself up into this sort of thing of adrenaline, getting ready to do it, and then actually doing it and completing it and getting applause and compliments and what have you. It's just like really sort of discombobulated.
Yeah, I remember I didn't see you for a long time. I actually put you I had to put a missing poster out. Have you seen this man?
Eyes once dark and sparkling, now opaque and seeing. Mouths bleakly eloquent, in crushing silence. Bodies tossed on elemental tides, settle, face down in surf. Mother and small sons locked together in fraternal farewell. Fallen at the final gateway to the bosom of Western democracy. families fractured by men without humanity, pushed from a homeland, drowning in jihad, prey to bottom feeders, grown fat on miserable migration. The images shock the senses, and we stop to contemplate the abyss. But 24-hour news waits for no one and moves on. What is the collective noun for refugees? A swarm, a herd, an exodus, an ocean maybe. Everything ends there.
Yeah, no,
But
that's
what I'm
take
saying.
some
That
time away
is-
and think about that.
Yeah, but then the next thing I think we did was Mangoes for Mangoes, if I'm not mistaken. And again, that was an experiment in, because that was more of a training, if there's such a thing, at Kandu, where we had Maya, hello Maya, who'd come on board, Andy Byrne, bless him, who was fantastic, Anya. We had a new team that we wanted to, while we had some space and time to train in and around the filmmaking process, and of course Maya was a filmmaker in her own right anyway. So that collaboration, where you then went from, quite incredible, I have to tell you, really impressed. You and Math, which is a joy to be around anyway, but the hard work of putting yourself not into a scripted, here is your things, this is what you're saying, into an environment where it was changing rapidly because of people's circumstance, and that's the thing when you're not working with professionals, how can they possibly, if they've got jobs and stuff, families, what have you, they can't, it's not their job, so why would they give it up? So that's why that changed so much. But in doing so, it evolved into something which was the sum of all its parts, and you can only do that with open-minded people, with people that are willing to kind of get an idea of what, there's a collective achievement. But at the drop of a hat, you could change. I mean, Christ, we went into one of the locations, which was our Airbnb. We saw a painting on the wall, and that became part of the script, which then lent itself, because my brother was working in Lyon's bookshop, to us having the internal, and then having a Tennyson poem, which just puts an added depth. Now, for anyone that hasn't seen Mangoes for Mangoes, good luck to you. But it's a collaborative part, a collaborative piece that is the sum of all its parts. It's got so many individual additions to it. People's commitment to the acting, Lana's and what have you. But we went from that, and there's music that everyone had made or whatever. We went off that. I think the next thing was it not. Was it? It was the Will Norton and the Alchemist thing, was it? No, we don't. Obviously, we don't open mics and stuff. But was it? As a way of like, you have done a poem. Will and the Alchemist have done a beautiful bit of music. It was on my liked list. That's how that came about again, wasn't it? Yeah. I originally heard it and thought, this is amazing. But I was kind of in the garden, listening to my liked list on my headphones, and it came up in amongst all my other songs, and of course for a while I didn't know what the hell it was. I just knew I obviously liked it. It was on my like list, and then when I heard it in the sun, I thought, "Oh, this is fantastic. How can we work together?" Now again, if you look at that collaboration, only one that's now on YouTube and what have you, so Will Norton and the Alchemist featuring Brian Reid.
piece is called Sunrise on Chair Hill. The night was still in its pomp as we rose, darkness illuminated by a huge, low moon, and sleep still tugged at me as I quaffed a banana shake and thought about the coming day. Fear grips in so many ways, all painful and unexpressed. But opportunity bests anxiety, and I'm focused on the moving parts of our endeavour. The plan, the people, the philosophy, the energy, the excitement, the expectation. Parked in a dawn-struck lay-by before the climb, the light is enough to recognise how steep and long our track must be, and my only goal is reaching the top before the sun breaks on the horizon. But no words, just laboured breathing and the screams of my thighs and buttocks and lower back, eyes front, head lowered into the storm of gravity. Ignoring the efforts of my younger, more agile colleagues whose youth and fitness leaves me embarrassed, but my pace is steady and focused. No exasperated outbursts or impassable features, slowly but surely making my way with only the sun to beat. Then, suddenly, the obelisk towers above me, and my compadres wave and holler through the dawn chorus. The winds scythe across the summit, biting unfettered through the layers. My cheeks redden through effort and exposure. We are here and waiting for the chink of light that heralds the new day. We set up and shoot, take after take, measuring, framing, working together, staying in the moment and listening hard. No dialogue, but so many signals, thoughts, hopes, minds, eye replays and channeling the spirit. The sun advances like a messenger of God, a speck becoming a dazzling crescendo of limitless energy, but still and dreamlike as our energy soars and we wrap the location shots and head downhill, back to the world full of people and streets and traffic, all set for the bustling activities that mark every Saturday morning.
What else? Mangoes for Mangoes. Will Lawton the Alchemist, but also your poem, which again is just a sort of kind of the momentum that collaboration sometimes proffers, is that people in their own individual way, and Will Lawton did it beautifully when they on the Will Lawton the Alchemist site, where he's put that whole collaboration into a package where it has got your poem, which is again fantastic. We've got a clip of that. We filmed it, YouTubed it, didn't we? Let's get that on this show. If not, we're not talking about anything else now. We're just talking about collaborations, and why wouldn't? Well, that's actually fantastic. And I've got to say thank you, because it's funny because these now on the thing. These are two things. So you MC'd on this. You did performances. You've done. You're on two of the three features on the fourth thing, and then we're going to do. We've got this other film project that we're starting to work on now. Again, sorry, I just got excited. I just realised we've done loads of stuff, and it's exciting. It's exciting. People out there that are local or want to get in contact with us, who want to be involved in our next big feature film, please do start to make contact with us. And this is a genuine thing. Sorry, mate. Back to you. Yeah, I'm just. It's rolling thunder, isn't it? We did lots of beautiful things which we can see on this podcast. Some of it, not all the whole film.
Yeah. Well, the great thing about it is that I've had lots of opportunities to do things, to stretch myself, to get involved. But you know, those processes, by their very nature, you have to commit.
Yeah.
You can't like sort of, you know. One thing I figured about collaborating with you is like sort of you're the kind of person that wants to get stuff done, and if you got a timetable, then you've got a timetable, and that's not sort of negotiable. This is what it is. So it's all about deciding that you want to do it, and then making sure that you're available. And once you're actually in there, what's the point of being non-collaborative or obstructive or concerned with your own situation?
I agree, but I've been in those situations.
I'm a blank canvas with a space for hire sort of sign
Space
on
for
it.
hire, yeah.
Okay.
Gun for hire.
I've got no idea what I'm doing. I'm quite happy to take direction.
But, well, fair
But
play.
I've also
You've got your own mind and you're a creative person and you've got your own ability to, you know, I mean, I love little nuances about that you as the character in the film had your coffee in real life, real coffee by the way, differently than you'd actually have it as yourself, which I thought was amazing.
Hello,
Hello.
my name's Herman. I'm a friend of Maths.
He's not here at the moment.
I was really hoping to catch you.
Oh, you're the guy he's meeting for business, yeah?
Yeah, we must have got our wires crossed.
Do you want to come in and wait for him?
I'd love to. It's a bit around here. Okay, thank you. Really sorry to impose, but
No, it's okay.
it's
Do you
really-
want coffee or anything?
I'd love a cup of coffee. Black, no sugar, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
no, but it was just like sort of trying. I mean, to be honest, but the whole production, you know, it was really interesting. But it was also, it's actually about sort of trying to find a space for yourself in what's going on, and sort of so because Matt dominates the start of the film. And it's all about what's happening to him, and I'm an unknown quantity.
Yeah.
And he's got plenty of time to be Math.
Yeah.
Okay. So my only challenge.
Can we just put a few little clips of Matt?
My only challenge. My only
What's
challenge
with
is
that?
not being me.
Yeah.
Ding dong. Come on in.
You must be Matt.
Yeah, I'm Matt. This is Gelda.
Gilda.
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 Yeah.
Come
There you go.
in.
Thank you.
Have you been to the area before?
Never been here before in my life.
If you need somebody to show you around the area, I'm sure I can do that.
You could do it.
I can do that, yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
I'll show you around the rest of the house. I'll show you upstairs.
Yeah, I'd love to see you. You don't really need that. Do you want to go to the shops? You love the shops, don't you?
Yeah.
Let me give you somebody. You go to the shops. Oh yes,
Wow.
and get what you want.
£5.
Yeah. I'll see you in a couple of hours, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Do you need to take your
You
key?
give her the key. Yeah, you'll be okay, won't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
If you need some more money, wait till tomorrow.
And I'll show you upstairs.
Yeah.
I'll show you the main bedroom first.
It's a beautiful part of the country. I've seen some fantastic views already.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
was, you know, you wouldn't call it straight man in the comedy duo or anything like that. So you know, I like the fact that there's some sort of ambivalence and some sort of question about what his motivations are and what about this character and who this character is about, which culminates in that scene when I end up knocking on the door. And that which goes off. It's great, but it's really well done. It was a really enjoyable film, and I was able to put my own little thing on it, my own little mark.
Yeah, that's it. But that's the beauty, isn't it? It's kind of like everyone agreeing essentially to meet up and have you know, a big feast. It's very grand. We're gonna have a feast, everyone. By golly, please bring some punch and a melon.
We had like a filmmakers retreat for a week, and we made a film at the same time.
Yeah. But that's what we did with
It
Pat's thing. It is that. It
is.
is to. But that's why you've got to choose the people well. Because if you end up going away for a week with people that you find it hard to be around, you end up, you know, which many people have said about me. Good luck to them. So we've got future plans. We're making this next feature, and we want people to get involved in. Did you enjoy being at the Real Cinema? What was it like actually seeing yourself?
To be honest, I was hard pressed. I was trying to get somebody to take a photograph of me watching myself on the big screen.
Yeah.
But you know.
Yeah, no, that was, we've done it before when we did the original Bash Street thing.
It was just loads of fun, and it was really well attended, and there were some really interesting movies as well. So actually getting a chance to watch Postcards from Perranporth,
Yeah.
okay, before again, properly actually knowing some of the people now that took part in it, I didn't know at the time, and really enjoying Bash Street because it's a serious work of, I don't know, this is the kind of thing they call gritty urban drama, but this is like a, I don't know, it's just like a snapshot of like the decay of like small market towns.
Yeah.
The fact that it was in black and white, I really like that. And there's so many local characters, so many great performances, so many sort of moments of pathos and sadness, because here we are, we're 10 years on from the making of Bash Street, and so those people are no longer with us.
Absolutely.
And
Well, that was you. It was you then that made me mindful of that.
Yeah.
You said it to me at the old road. You said, it's 10 years since the Bash Street. It's like, what, you're kidding? Which we probably, it's interesting because then it was great that we were able to get back into real cinema and do it, and they were fantastic. So we're going to be doing that film festival at a different time. We're going to be doing it in June, so we combine better with the Wiltshire College's media course, so that all the young people, they loved it, the students loved it, can put their finished pieces in without doing any extra work. They'll have their pieces they naturally have to submit to be marked or whatever for their exams. So that aspect of it, but local filmmakers, we're making a documentary about the pandemic, about the local council, various councillors and various people that are in local, local grant giving authority bodies and stuff who've been running this town. So everyone out there who lives in a small town, get part of this initiative, Reclaim Our Town, which is really good.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a quandary here in Chippenham at the moment because, with the demise of the bid.
I wonder what happened to that.
Well, and just the general sort of pandemic sort of malaise.
Yeah.
Which is I've seen all sorts of weird things happen around Chippenham over the last.
Keep trying to build unnecessary houses, I've noticed, regardless of what people say.
Do you remember that there was a big hoo-ha because they put a cycle lane down Marshfield Road, going down towards the Chippenham Football Club.
Yeah, and beyond.
All right.
Yeah.
And obviously people used to park there. Of course, there was no football played for almost a year, all right? Yeah. And then suddenly, miraculously, this cycle pathway that there was absolutely no need for has disappeared.
Yeah.
And instead of which, we've got some massive lights at the bottom of Station Hill,
which no one wants.
We've not needed for like 30 years. Suddenly they're there.
Yeah. We've got a car park. We spent millions. No community centre. The Bridge Centre's gone. So the local councillors, I know that there's a whole load of new councillors.
It's like they're saying, what can we do next? We've got to do something. We've got to show, it's a reason.
We've got to stop. I'll tell you what we've got to stop doing. We've got to stop listening to the county council. They don't give a about this town.
A lot of those people are working, they're following a career path in a particular area, which happens to be funded and supported by the local councils.
Yeah.
So they've got no way of not being sort of in that sphere of influence.
Yeah.
But it's the people at the top who are making the strategic decisions.
Non-strategic.
Absolutely.
That's the point. If you look at the Bridge Centre, the whole debacle around that, now they're talking about the fact that there's antisocial behaviour in that car park. They spent millions on that. There's no consultation.
I always find it weird that anywhere where young people congregate is supposed to be a hotbed of antisocial behaviour.
Yeah.
What it is a hotbed of youth.
Yeah.
Okay, and like these sort of behaviours are what happens when young people get together. Some of them aren't quite as mature as others. Some of them don't deal with it as well as others. Yeah. But live and let live, people. Let's give why are these kids acting up? Because there's nothing to do. Yeah. There's nowhere to go.
Yeah. Absolutely, this is the problem.
They don't feel important.
But we were, kids on fire. What other things you got on the lined up?
I obviously concentrating going forward is just enjoying the return of the open mic.
Yeah.
And trying to manage obviously work commitments with all that as well. But I really want to get my first collection out.
Yes, that we talked about that, didn't we? Yes, we did.
So there's a lot of work to be done there, sort of collating, editing, and sort of organising, what have you.
That'd be good to have it out by Christmas, though, don't you think?
Well, it's definitely a possibility, but that's the time.
Well, watch this space, everyone. Brian Reid's collection of poetry. What are you going to call it? You got a name?
Cracks in the Pavement.
Cracks in the Pavement. Sweet. Okay, well, we'll leave it on that then. We'll leave that. Cracks on the Pavement is going to be something. We're going to show some of Brian's poetry in this piece. I want to say thank you to Maya. Maya, thank you. Brian, your legend is normal.
It was a pleasure.
Everyone here, Barbara, Beasley, Charlie Tedstone, what a legend he is. These two sponsoring both these events, the Unlock and the Film Festival. Anyone out there that wants to get involved in sponsoring and supporting a real community initiative that actually helps real people, as opposed to in theory. Anyway, love you lots, everyone. And remember, be safe out there, children. Play by the rules. If you can't play by the rules, look out!
Held within the flowers, messing with your head just to feel somehow.